Innovation can be described as the creation of the new or the rearranging of the old in a new way. And as Steve Jobs once said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Innovation can happen in any company, large or small, and can take place in different ways. It occurs in 3 different buckets, and these buckets are configuration, offering, and experience. These 3 buckets make up a model which is often used to analyze the current innovation process of the company or to analyze their competitions. Now I'm going to explain the model simply into these categories. The 3 buckets are the base or the backbone of this innovation model. Configuration is how the company works, offering is the product that the company is providing, and experience is the customer engagements from your company. Inside each of these 3 categories are smaller branches which provides more detail to the company. Under configuration is first the profit model. This is simply how the company plans to make money. The company should always look for new ways to make money, even if the product is similar. A great example of this is how Netflix chooses to allow their streaming to be subscription-based instead of renting per video like some of the older film rentals. Next, under configuration is network. This is the connection your company has with other companies to create value for yourself. A current example of this is how the music streaming app Spotify teamed up with the film streaming website Hulu, and they created a package deal. So if you purchase Spotify, you also get access to Hulu. And that's a good example of networking. Next is the structure. This describes the backbone and the talents and assets of your company. This is done in most corporate stores or even small stores that have an employee feedback system, just so the heads up top can know how they're doing down the line. Lastly, in the configuration bucket is the process. This is a signature method of how your company does its work. A great example is how Starbucks trains their employees to provide consistency and uniformity by creating their drinks and their products the exact same way every time. That way the customer can get the same experience no matter what Starbucks they're in across the globe. Moving on to the next bucket, which is offering. The first category in the offering bucket is the company's product performance. This distinguishes features and functionality of the product or service being offered. Next for the offering is the product system. This analyzes the complementary products of the services that are being offered. And the complementary products are products that need to be sold together because simply they complement each other. A good example of this is the company that sells Keurig coffee makers. They also sell K-Cups because it is hard to have one without the other. Moving into the last bucket of innovation is the experience portion of the model. The first branch of the experience is the actual service itself. This is everything that your company and you provide around the product. So going back to the previous example of Starbucks, the customer is not just there for their drink or their free Wi-Fi, but the customers typically enjoy the services that their barista or their bartenders are able to provide to them. Next is the channel of the business. This is how the offering of the company gets to the actual users and the consumers, whether it be through Amazon's shipping or a brick and mortar store that the consumer has to physically visit, or you can have an online subscription which allows access to a service online like Spotify or Hulu. Also in the experience category is brand, and the brand is how your company product is being distinguished from other products. The brand is important because it's what sets you apart and makes you special. So a good example of this would be a Nike brand tennis shoe versus a Walmart brand tennis shoe. Typically people are going to go with the Nike brand just because it is a brand name and people recognize that. Lastly is the customer engagement. These are specific, distinctive interactions that you and your employees implement into your customer interactions. This is not always employee to consumer. It can also be how the consumer is using your product. For example, the company that make the Wii gaming system, their interactions are more about in the living room as opposed to on the TV. Once these 10 types of innovation have been drawn out and picked apart by a company, you should have a good analysis of your own operations or your competitors' operations. I would like to leave you with a quote from William Pollard that says, Learning and innovation go hand in hand. The arrogance of success is to think that what you did yesterday will be sufficient for tomorrow. Thank you for your time.